Since 1998, the Rock and Roll Half Marathon Series has been the band on the run, raising money for various charities to the heartbeat of music and runners. This coming Saturday, October 8th, the runners will be on their marks and ready to go for the Synchrony Financial Rock and Roll Half Marathon Series. I'd like to welcome Dan Cruz, spokesperson for the event.
We're ready to rock and roll.
Man, you know what? Before we talk about it, you know, in the world today, unfortunately, some people feel safe, some people don't. But security is a major thing today, especially for events like this.
Yeah, these road races have really, turned into kind of high-profile community events, and our industry really changed a few years ago during the Boston Marathon when they had a tragic bombing at the finish line. And so, yes, security is on top of everybody's mind, and we've been working collaboratively with NYPD and the Office of Counterterrorism, the Parks Department, to really ensure the safest event possible for those 17,500 runners in this weekend's Synchrony Financial Rock and Roll Brooklyn Half Marathon.
So this is a series that takes place across the country. It's basically a franchise. This weekend you'll be in Brooklyn, but tell us about the series overall.
Yeah, the Rock and Roll Marathon series started back in San Diego in 1998, and really it makes running fun by putting live bands and entertainment stations along every mile of the route. It creates kind of a 13.1 mile block party for the community. And so we have runners traveling to Brooklyn this weekend from over 50 countries. 1 out of 4 participants are going to be running their very first half marathon. So it's a fun way to really engage with the community, to really embrace that healthy and active lifestyle, and everything builds up with a free concert at the finish line. So it wouldn't be a rock and roll race without a free concert.
Let's talk about the course. Let's show the course. Pick up the course real quick. We can see the course. Let's check that out. There it is right there.
So yeah, no, the course is a brand new course. This is our second year with a half marathon in Brooklyn, and we've really spent pretty much every waking day since last year's event to think how we can improve the race from a flow of the participants. Anytime you have 17,500 people at the same place at the same time, there's going to be some logistical challenges. And so we've redesigned the course. The start line will now take place in front of the Brooklyn Art Museum there on Eastern Parkway. Runners will get to experience cut back a little bit on Washington Avenue, Ocean Avenue, running alongside Prospect Park. And then a majority of the course takes place on Ocean Parkway with that long out and back stretch, which really showcases the best of Brooklyn.
This seems to be also a multimedia musical runners experience. Which musical group do you have out there this year?
Well, Here We Go Magic is our headliner at the finish line. There are 20 different entertainment stations that take place along the route. Obviously, anytime you have live music playing at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, you have to work within the city's constraints. So those bands in the park won't begin until 8 a.m. But we have 5 local bands, entertainment stations, the last 4 miles of the race inside beautiful Prospect Park, and you just have to go outside and look at this beautiful fall weather. It's the perfect time of year for a half marathon in Brooklyn.
Also, leading up to the march, you have several events, also expos.
Yeah, the pack and pickup actually takes place in Manhattan. That's one thing we found through some of our research last year, is that a lot of the participants on Saturday morning, they work over in Manhattan. And so that takes place at Penn Pavilion, easily accessible from the subway lines for people to pick up their race number. There's the Health and Fitness Expo, where you try the funny granola bars and all the cool nutrition and technology information. But everything really builds up on Saturday morning, 7 o'clock, Eastern Parkway. And that's when the race starts. That's when the community comes out. And that free concert takes place 11 a.m. right there in the Nethermead in Prospect Park. And that's free and that's open to the public. Anyone could come on down and enjoy this great community event.
Also, there's money also be raised for some various charities also. Can you name some of them?
Yeah, no. We partner with a couple of great causes. St. Jude Children's Research Hospital, they have over 800 participants on Saturday morning, raising over $300,000 for childhood cancer research. And then another new cause is an organization called Augie's Quest, an ALS cause that has a national recruitment. They're all coming to Brooklyn. This is the first time they've ever done an endurance sport event like this, and they have raised over $300,000. So, yeah, you have almost $1 million across all the different charities that'll be raised on Saturday morning.
Now, when you look at this also, for the runner, it's also not the regular marathon, half marathon or marathon, because you're being entertained along blown away. Never heard of anything like it.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. The Rock and Roll Marathon Series next year will be the 20th annual event in San Diego, 1998. Back then, there were no iPods, there were no MP3 players. You know, those technological innovations have really opened up running to people from all walks of life. As I said, 1 out of every 4 runners, it's going to be their very first half marathon. These are people that come in all shapes and sizes, all ages, all genders, and they look like not the fast guys in the short shorts. You may think of a runner and some of the track clubs or cross-country runners. These are people you work with, people you go to church with. They're out there really doing something for charity or doing something to make a lifestyle change. So it's not your everyday athlete. People, really a community event.
And it's also a lot of them are dressed in crazy uniforms.
Oh, crazy costumes. You're going to see the running Elvi out there. You're going to see people dressed up like Kiss or the Beatles or all the different musicians. And people are just out there to have a good time. I mean, they're doing a half marathon. They're dropping some sweat in life's bucket list. And maybe it's something they want to run a race in all 50 states or just want to, raise some money for a charitable cause. Everyone has a story. Everyone has a reason why they run. And you'll see 17,500 of those at the start line on Saturday morning.
17,500. How many did you have last year?
Last year was the same size.
Okay.
Last year the race sold out. This year registration just sold out last weekend before the Health and Fitness Expo this weekend. But yeah, this is one of the largest running events in New York City. Obviously, a lot of people are training for the TCS New York Marathon, which is coming up. And this is certainly the perfect time of year to Prospect Park is just beautiful with the trees starting to change colors. The air is cool. It's crisp. Everyone's going to have a great time on Saturday morning.
And also rain or shine.
No, rain or shine. We have some great partners with Synchrony Financial. They're the new title sponsors of the event, and they sent us a couple emails on Monday morning saying, hey, what's happening with the weather? We've obviously been tracking the weather, and again, it's a collaboration with the Parks Department, Prospect Park, and the City Hall to make sure that we put on the safest experience possible. And fingers crossed, knock on wood, that rain holds out till Saturday afternoon, and the runners have a good time.
And if they want to reach out to you?
The website is runrockandroll.com or /Brooklyn. There's a 1-800 number on the website, 1-800-311-1255. People are answering the phone Saturday morning. We are encouraging people to arrive early. There will be metal detectors to get into the start line corrals. Gear check is located right at Grand Army Plaza, one of the most scenic areas to check your bag. And there's a lot of regulations for the Brooklyn event that are different from those other rock and roll races with security that we touched on earlier. Clear bags only, the specialized metal detectors that people have to pass through before the race. And again, those extra things that you have to deal with. It's just like, being at the airport, right? If you see something, say something, have a little bit of patience. Everyone's working to provide the safest experience possible.
Dan, thanks for coming.
No, Michael, thanks for having me. We're ready for 13.1 miles of rock and roll on Saturday morning.